we've used in the past, like before we issued the Measure FP bond, to talk to residents about would you support bond. It's that same company.
Well, I'm kind of perturbed by that because we can only get like 22% of registered residents to even vote. So, you know, you're just throwing money into the wind, having somebody else do a survey, and you can't get the residents to even vote.
Well, so I would say it's probably, you know, they have a statistical number that they're trying to hit. I think it's about 400 that, you know, says that they're confident that this represents the whole population. And I don't know how to do that. I've never read the other reports, but basically that's what they're going to do. They're going to do a scientific poll where mine is just, you know, me talking to residents of the district. As you know, polling has proven accurate in the last 8 years. Robin?
I mean, if surveys were correct, Hillary would be in the White House.
Right.
So.
Right. So, but hopefully, you know, the citywide survey will have a much clearer answer as to how residents feel about it. So,
so with your survey, is it going to highlight what you're saying, or that primarily it's going to be in District 1?
Well, I don't know what their survey is going to say.
Okay.
I wrote my question very specifically because when people were coming up to speak at the council meeting, it was sort of people were saying yes or no to cannabis, or, you know, yes or no, do they want retail? Yes or no, do they want us to start the application process? So they were answering different questions.
Right.
So for District 2, I wanted to get your opinion on how you felt about it and show you that it's largely excluded from District 2.
Okay.
You know, so that, you know, very narrow, specific question is what I was asking. Yeah.
What percentage responded to what you sent out?
To what I had about 100, just under 100 responses.
And how many people was it sent to?
I mean, I have about 4,200.
Because I replied 99 times.
Oh, okay. So we can thank Robbie, she kept changing her mind. No, I submit, I have about 4,200 people, I think about 2,500 read the newsletter, and I got 100 responses.
They all read the newsletter.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Or at least they clicked that they
on
opened
it.
it. Yeah, that they opened it. So yeah, so that's, you know, that was the feedback that I got of it. And it was the most popular link in the email, so people definitely saw it, and, you know, those were.
I'm glad to know it's not on the waterfront, and that's probably something. Like, I listened to District 4 not wanting it on Artesia because they have enough smoke shops, so I listened to that whole thing. It's good to know that it's not going to be down in the waterfront, it's not going to be any of the businesses down there.
Right.
Well, I think that's a concern that our
And see,
peer is going to.
and so and that's what I saw, that thought pattern sort of happening when people were coming up during the question period meeting. They were concerned about something like that, but it's excluded.
Okay.
So, you know, so even if it is excluded, now would you want it, even though it's not going to be
Right.
No,
That's Coastal Commission, right?
right. So in that map that I put on the newsletter, they had the full map in the meeting package, but I just sort of cropped it down to mostly District 2 to show that basically we're all covered by some various problem.
So there's no venues on Catalina in District 2?
Right, so in District 2, right. But what happens on Catalina, it's mostly residential. So you can't.
Except for the old coffee shop that was a gas station back in the 30s and 40s.
Under the 1500, because the guy came and talked to the councilman wanted to do it, yeah. He was very interested. He said, can you, if it's like 25 feet, like 1475, because the ordinance is 1500. He was like, if it's 1493, and we were like, it's 1500. So you can't go
So it's
to the
like
school, that to the school is
Oh, they've been
yeah,
from
within the
the high
14,
school,
yeah,
right.
to the 15.
And the closest school to there would be Borough Heights.
Or the high school. The high school.
Yeah, only the gangs can sell around.
Right.
But yeah, the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Well, and that's, you know, that's why, you know, reading through it, I saw that you can, after you start thinking
The
through
bubbles and
it,
stuff.
you can see that the city staff over, like, I think they've gone through several iterations of the ordinance. They've incorporated, you know, feedback from the residents into what we have now, what was approved 5-0 as our cannabis ordinance. So, so they just, you know, left it to the new council to decide if they want to start the RFP process.
So that's what we're looking at, is if we do want to go to the next phase.
Right, issuing a license. And so there will be 2 licenses citywide, so one in North Redondo, one in South Redondo. And then in South Redondo, it's District 2 is.
Have you guys reached out to, is there any other beach city that has?
I mean, there's cities all around, like Culver City, Hawthorne has, I just heard that they have 6 potential licenses, 3 have been used and, are working well.
Okay.
Let's say Gardena does. But the city staff over the years, so I think they started this process as soon as the law was changed at the state level. And so they literally have gone 8 years of iterations on ours.
Oh, okay.
And lessons that were learned in other cities
Sure.
and concerns of residents all have been incorporated into the open ordinance. So, and all this left to do is decide if we want to issue it. So that's what it is.
Okay.
So we'll, I think that survey might happen earliest toward the end of the year, just because we have to budget for it, get a contract approved.
Didn't they say that, push it to August as far as allocating money?
Right, so money has to be allocated, then I think they have to go through an RFP process to, so that'll take another month or 2 before that contract comes to council for us to approve and sign it. And then once it's signed, then they'll go ahead and do the work. So, it'll be several months to get through that process, several months at the earliest. Okay. Let's see. Another issue that came up recently, and Jeff will testify to this later, at the Marina parking lot, which is the parking lot behind R10, Captain Kids, and the Cantina. Because of all the construction that's finally over, we started charging for parking again. A lot of people didn't really read the sign and suddenly got a $75 ticket, so we've had lots of angry phone calls. But I think now most people are aware of it and know that the parking enforcement is very active around the city, enforcing the parking requirements. So there's an app you can get to pay for your parking online, or there are 3 locations down there where you can actually pay. And I think most people only do it 1 location initially, so that was part of just showing the curve. And then going into the waterfront, we've signed several new leases with businesses around the International Boardwalk, as well as Pier Plaza, the office section that's above the pier. So those are starting to fill up. The International Boardwalk is full right now, other than the Fun Factory, and we're, an Economic Development Committee, we're talking about that right now and strategies for that. But we have, some new restaurants coming in. One just sold. Shoal Brewery took over a sandwich shop called the Dingy Deli. So that's a brewery from Torrance that's done really well, and the owners are actually from Redondo. So they're coming in down there. And on our list of things we're working on are things like the Maison Mid space, which is the vacant restaurant space, that large one on the pier next to El Torito's. Because that's, just being that large, it's a big eyesore for the whole waterfront. So things are starting to...
The fire is fixed, they're fixing.
There was a fire there. I think they fixed that, but that for a new restaurant to go into that space, they're going to have to put millions of dollars into it because it's so large and it's been vacant for so long. But piece by piece, we're starting to identify what needs to be done, come up with basically a coherent leasing strategy of how things should run down there. So we're making progress. So the small steps are starting to happen.
You can't demise it like into 2 restaurants?
Potentially you could, you would want to take it down because postal commission, that would be, rebuilding that would be a nightmare, which I could approve again. But there could be a way you could
How
subdivide
many
it.
square feet?
I want to say,
Sorry, real estate person.
yeah, I want to say it's 9,700. It's big.
9,700?
97.
I think it's bigger than El Torito. It's huge.
Yeah, well, and it's 2 floors. But if you've ever looked in the front door, you have great views that look straight down the beach, down to South Redondo. And I think, to me, that's probably one of the best views in the city. And it's been vacant, and, but it's going to take pretty good to get it back up and running. So, but we do have, businesses like Quality Seafood who have been, extremely successful. They've been in the waterfront for 70 years. And, we'll be there, 74. So, but we're trying to build on all of those successes to, help make the whole waterfront better and more useful to all of us, to residents, and get people in from other areas to come down and enjoy it. And with that leads us into our guest speaker tonight, who is Jeff Jones. He is the president, right, of Quality Seafood, and also recently, as of about 3 weeks ago, now the new president of the King Harbor Association. Again, and that's the tenant association of all the businesses, including the yacht clubs, the retailers, the restaurants, the hotels, all of the businesses down there at the waterfront. And one of the issues that I saw when I was running and talking to different people, there are lots of people with different ideas that sound great, but there was no one sort of coordinating all of those ideas into a cohesive effort. And I think, Jeff, were you ever a member of the Riviera Village?
No.
Okay.
No.
But the Riviera Village Association down there is a good example of, when a business association of neighboring businesses get together and works well, they do things like the holiday stroll, the Halloween trick-or-treating from different businesses, and coordinating a lot of things like Summerfest that happens down there. So, hopefully we can get some of those things down there and get us, all of us in the